Hi, this is Miss Carrie, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about the homework that you're going to be doing for this week. And it's on criteria for success. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what criteria for success is during this video. And then I'm also going to show you how it applies to your homework this week. Now, I wrote up a little kind of outline for you to help in explaining what criteria for success is, so that way you better understand what the expectations are for the homework. So first, you need to know when you have criteria for success. So criteria is what you need to do to be successful. And success means that you're meeting your goal or reaching your goal. So what you need to do to be successful. So these are going to help you. They're going to be things that are going to help you be successful and reach your goal. Now, we talked about in class the goal of being able to kick a ball. So I'm going to say goal is kick a ball into a soccer net or soccer goal, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that's your goal. Now, what do you need to be able to accomplish, or what do you need to do to accomplish that goal? So I know that I'm going to have to bend my knees, because if you're standing up straight, you're not going to be able to kick the ball as well. You're going to need to use the inside of your foot. And you're going to need to be able to aim your shot towards the goal. So now, in a perfect world, we'd say, yes, okay, these three things if you do the goal, but technically there are other things that you have to do. So when you're coming up with your criteria, you might have a long list of things that you need to do to meet your goal. And you want to be very specific. So bend your knees. Use the inside of your foot. Aim your shot towards the goal, and then you're probably going to want to say swing your leg with enough speed that it forces the ball to move, and there are other things that you're going to need to do as well. But these things in the middle are what you need to do to be successful. So this is your criteria, and your success is if you meet your goal. And your criteria should be, if you do all these things, then you will have met your goal. That there shouldn't be any, well, if you do half of this one, then you've met your goal. You need to be able to do all these things, and if you do all those things, then you've met your goal. There shouldn't be any questions left. So with your homework, we talked about, well, what's the criteria for success to be able to communicate directions in writing? So all of you have received this sheet, and it tells you that for your homework, you need to draw a picture on the front of the pattern block structure activity sheet. Now, the pattern block structure activity sheet, sorry. Not everybody received this, or they didn't do their drawings on the sheet, so that's okay. I just want you to be drawing a picture, anything you'd like, nothing specific. You can draw any image that you prefer to draw. Then you're going to turn your paper over, or use a separate piece of paper. They can be side by side, that's fine. And on the back, you're going to use your criteria for success. So we came up with the criteria for success in class. And you're going to write your directions on how to recreate the same picture you drew. And I want it to look almost identical. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but if you draw a stick figure like so, sorry. Okay, here's my stick figure. Alright, here's my dude, and he's really cool. Well, I want someone to be able to draw the exact same person. So if they draw a person who looks like this, sorry, I'm doing it quickly, that's not the same person. Yes, there are two people with three lines coming out of their head for hair, but they are not the same drawing. I want them to look identical, or as close to identical as possible. So you're going to first do your drawing, then you're going to use your criteria for success, which are these things right here, and you're going to write directions on how to recreate the same picture you drew. And after you do that, you're going to check to see if you included everything on your list of criteria. Because, again, If you do all these things, then your directions should be perfect. So do you have a simile informing your reader of what your drawing looks like? So this is that big picture. So you want the big picture. Give your reader that large image. What does this look like? Well, I think this is a stick figure with very simple drawings and 3 lines coming out of his head for hair. So that gives you an overall picture of what the person looks like. And then after that, you can go into more specific details of how to draw the person. So you're going to start maybe with a long line. Then you're going to have 2 smaller lines coming out of the middle of that long line to make the arms, and so forth. So big picture, give your reader the large idea in the beginning, and then you can do smaller similes or smaller comparisons throughout the rest of your writing or your direction. After that, you're going to do your adjectives. So these are describing the size, shape, and other distinct characteristics of your objects in your drawing. So this is going to make sure that you are providing the reader everything they need to know in order to understand what you're describing. So this you need to be specific with, as well as your specific nouns. So don't use thing or like. Don't use a lot. That's a big no-no. And don't use thing. I want you to use words like numbers. So give me a specific number, such as number 8. Give me something specific like trapezoid or rhombus or face. Use specifics. And then tell me about the locations and directions. So where are you going to draw objects or lines, and how are you going to draw them? Are you going to do horizontal lines? Are you going to do vertical lines? Are you going to place them to the left? Or are you going to place them to the right? Are you going to place them up, down? And then how far up? How far down? The middle of the page, middle of the line. Be specific so that your person understands what you're talking about, and you don't want them being left with any questions. So that's your criteria for success. So we talked about criteria for success. It is what you need to do to be successful. Here are the things you need to do so that you can reach your goal. Once you know that, you're going to come here, you're going to draw your picture, and you're going to write your directions using the criteria that you came up with in class with me. So you're going to give them the big picture in the beginning so they have an idea of what they're focusing on and they know what their end result's supposed to look like. You're going to put an adjective so they don't have any questions of, well, what's a lot? You're going to say 8 blocks or 8 circles. Then you're going to use specific nouns such as face or table or any type of object that has a name. You're not going to just write thing or it. Then you're going to give locations and directions. You're going to say you're going to put the horizontal line on the upper right hand corner of your page. Or you're going to say you're going to put the vertical line to the left side down, or down to the right, or left, sorry. Alright, so make sure you're giving them directions and telling them where to put it, because if they were sitting right in front of you, you would be explaining it. And I want you to kind of think of it similar as if you had a person in front of you, what would you be telling them? And write that down, and those can be your directions, and you can fix them a little bit if they're not perfect. So after you do that, you're going to put a check in the box for each thing that you've completed, and then you're going to show evidence. This is big. Show your evidence that you have it in there. So I've told you that for the similes, you can use a key. If you put a star here, then you can put a star in your directions and just underline the words inside your directions, or in your directions, and then that way they should match and you don't have to rewrite the whole entire simile. Also, include here. So here I want you to write some adjectives out. So what did you include in your directions that show me that you use specific adjectives? And then same with the nouns. And then write some words that you used for locations and directions. This way you can check yourself. Did you include all the criterion? And so that way you can make sure that you're successful and there shouldn't be any questions how you're going to do on this assignment. If you're still confused of what my expectations are after this video and you still have questions, please contact me. You can either see me in my classroom or email me. Either one is fine. Alright, thanks guys and good luck.